One of the topics that we briefly touched on in our previous video concerning Mount Tantus was the creation of a clone of Luke Skywalker using DNA from a severed hand which was recovered sometime after his duel with Vader on Cloud City. So I thought I'd make a video going into more detail as it's a pretty interesting bit of lore from the Legends continuity. In the words of Luke himself recorded in his datapad journal, "The clone that Jorah Sabayoth created to test me with was the fulfillment of my vision in the cave on Dagobah. The reality was no less horrifying than the illusion. Imagine looking at your reflection in the mirror and seeing only an enemy." After losing his hand and lightsaber to Vader, both would be discovered in a scrap pile by an Ugnaught, who intended to melt the saber down for its metal. However, Vader intervened and would deliver the hand of his son and the lightsaber to the Emperor, who would add them to his personal collection. Vader would at first consider creating a clone of Luke himself to use as his apprentice. However, Palpatine discovered this and ordered Vader to bring the finds to Wayland and Mount Tantus. It's there that they would sit for quite some time. 6 years later, long after the deaths of Vader and Palpatine and during the Thrawn campaign, the Guardian of Mount Tantus, the insane clone of Jedi Jorah Sabayoth, via the use of a mind trick on Thrawn's subordinate, Captain Pellaeon, would order the secret creation of a clone for himself, using the code for Luke's severed hand. He would then erase this order from Pellaeon's memory so he couldn't report it back to Thrawn. Sabayoth's plan was to create an army of dark Jedi, with Luke, Leia, as well as Leia and Han's children being the first of his army. It was during this time that the clone of Luke would be created as well, to serve as an apprentice to the mad Jedi clone as he attempted to turn the real Luke Skywalker to his side. The Skywalker clone would be grown in a rapid amount of time and would be trained in the use of the Force and would fall under Sabayoth's control. His skills would be tested when he encountered his counterpart, the real Luke Skywalker, on Wayland, along with Mara Jade. The clone would use Luke's original lightsaber, which was given to Luke by Obi-Wan, previously of course owned by Luke's father Anakin. Sabayoth attempted to turn the real Luke to his side but realized this was useless, and he introduced the clone to destroy Luke and Mara Jade. Luke and the clone engaged in battle, while Sabayoth would interfere on multiple occasions. Han and Leia arrived and found their way into the throne room inside of the mountain before Leia would be incapacitated, which would of course anger her brother. Luke would aggressively attack and the two men would continue their battle. The clone would for a moment gain an advantage and would attempt to land a killing blow, only for Luke to duck out of the way as the lightsaber of Anakin Skywalker slashed through a view screen the two men were standing in front of, causing sparks to fly straight into the clone's face. Dazed, the clone would fix his gaze towards Mara Jade and prepared to finish her off. However, in a split second, which was all that she needed, Mara Jade was able to use the lightsaber in her own hand to land the killing blow on the clone and finish him off. Aided by a distraction from Luke as well as being mentally guided by a now recovered Leia, Mara Jade would also manage to stab the mad clone of Jorah Sabayoth, who would explode in a burst of dark side energy, ending the intense battle once and for all. Sometime later, this experience with the clone would cause Luke several sleepless nights, as he would wonder if he too could one day fall to the dark side. Later, as a gift, Luke would bestow to Mara Jade his first original lightsaber that was recovered from his clone, and eventually, though it would take time, Luke and Mara Jade would enter into a relationship. But that's the story for another time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and of course, may the Force be with you.